Remember, keep it hush-hush. Is there anywhere we can hide?
What are you staring at?
Nothing. Sneaky does it now. Remember, keep it hush-hush. Is there anywhere we can hide? This spot looks good for spying. Shh.
Heard the news?
Yeah, they raised the threat level for the Skydom.
They keep sending reinforcements to Tempeal and other islands. Castle defenses will be stretched thin.
It's taking a toll on the public safety team, too. The Church of Avia has been popping up everywhere.
At least we're safe here. Don't have to worry about Seed Hollow getting invaded. Just hope I don't get shipped out.
Mobilizing soldiers out of Seed Hollow is sapping the castle's defenses. People might get edgy if this leaks.
Think we can hide here?
I know what I saw. That Harvin was wearing white robes. Matched what was described in the intel report to a T. They say that uniform stood out to one of the deadliest groups in Avia. Obviously, the Silver Wolf Corps is also nothing to sneeze at. But this group uses strange techniques. I should have arrested that Harvin. What if they've already infiltrated the city?
Avia may have already infiltrated Seed Hollow? That's bad news, but good to know.
Yeah. Remember, keep it hush-hush. Is there anywhere we can hide? Let's camp out here.
So my granddad said the craziest thing the other day.
Well, don't leave me hanging.
You know the Corridor of Peace? Know why they really call it that?
No, why?
It's to honor an astral who once saved us Sky Dwellers.
That's a good one.
What a joke.
That's what I said. They were the ones who conquered us. A compassionate astral. Can you imagine?
Now that story I'd like to hear more about. Unfortunately, it has nothing to do with our task. I think we've heard enough. Let's go report this in.
Paxtos tune? How'd it go? I see. I guess we'd better offer some resources to bolster the castle's defenses. By the way, didn't you say something about needing to see the boss? He should be in by now. Why don't you head for the bar?
This Zothra guy sure likes to dip his talons in everything, huh?
Yes. Thanks to him and his informants, the city's managed to stay relatively peaceful. But I'm going to do him one better and protect every single dweller in these skies.
Really? Are you sure you're not biting off more than you can chew?
Was that too much? Anyway, time to hit the bar.
Can't hurt just to look around. What have you got to lose?
It's finally time to meet the legend himself. From what I've seen with his underlings, he runs a tight ship.
So then...
Damn nobles.
Everyone, meet Zothra.
Well, out with it. That's some jam.
Yeah, I was hoping you could help.
Let's talk business.
You didn't let me finish.
We aren't a charity. Selling info is how we don't starve. And the juicier the intel, the tastier our meals. You want a seat at the table? You gotta bring the bread. Know what I'm saying?
So, how much will it cost?
Avia exposes us to huge risk. At the friend discount, you're looking at 7 mil.
7 million rupees? That's enough to purchase several airships.
We settle our payments up front, but I wager your wallets are a little bit light at the moment. How about a proposal? You scratch my back, and I'll scratch yours.
We really don't have time for this.
Don't pass on a deal till you've heard every last detail. We've already looked into the mind sealer around your friend's neck. A catalyst stone that'll cancel the magic sleeps in some ruins on Dolly Island.
Are you absolutely certain?
Let me guess. You're giving us the scoop because you want something in return.
Man knows how to cut to the chase. All you resourceful folks have to do is break the seal on those ruins. It just so happens there's hidden treasure in there we'd love to get our hands on. And those are the conditions. Not a bad deal, if you ask me.
Yep, we both get what we want. Seems fair enough.
At this point, I think any lead is worth investigating.
The choice is yours, Captain.
I'll be waiting at the port. Come see me when you've got your answer.
Mr. Shade back there was no ordinary dude.
I'll say.
Right
Yeah.
So then...
Oh, yes.
How do you do? So then...
Excuse me.
What you hiding?
So then...
I think you painted a different picture of the guy, Roland.
Well, he's very passionate about his work, yes.
We didn't come here to dig up treasure for someone else.
I know it's not the most direct way to get to Lyria, but it's better than nothing.
Why did it have to be Dolly Island, though? Not to mention breaking the seal on the ruins. But if we don't take that risk... I suppose Zothma knows what he's doing.
What are you mumbling about? Come on! He said he's waiting at the port! Daddy's ain't got nothing on you! They're good tidings. Zothma wanted to thank you for your hard work. Something about finding hot gossip and shady cats? Skyfaring work sure is something else. Enjoy your gift! A fine hello to you! Never hurts to have some backup, right? Fruit in the market looks so good. Too bad it'll have to wait for another day.
Yeah. Who knows when we'll find the time to kick back and relax.
I'm sure Lyria will fall in love with this beautiful city.
It's gonna be great showing her around.
Need something? Sometime after our mission in Tempeel, we bumped into the old merchant in Folka.
Well, look who the cat dragged in. Thanks for handling things in Tempeel. You all deserve the best.
Tempeel had been roughed up by Furikin's rampage, and all of the locals were busy repairing the damage. The work we did that day had been crucial to those recovery efforts.
Out of curiosity, my young lizard friend, were you much help to your crew?
Uh-oh, he said the L word. I turned to Vern, ready for his usual furious tagline. Thanks, Pops. You really helped me see the light. Huh. This was new. The old man threw an apple to Vern and they exchanged a nod. Then, without explaining this bizarre bond between them that just came out of the blue, he left. Does anyone else feel like the space-time continuum just broke? Io was staring dumbfounded at the small dragon, who was already happily munching away on a tart Granny Smith. Had he matured enough to ignore his most hated of hated insults? Seriously, this is just too much to believe. He called you a lizard and everything. Maybe the ship will be a little quieter from now on, huh?
Hold it! I ain't no lizard! And don't you say that in front of the apple. What if it hears you?
Maybe he'd get there in another adventure or two.
Call it a side effect of being a helmsman, but my ears tend to laser in on any talk of airships. Then again, damn near anybody could have heard this guy shouting.
No! No! You can't do this! She's still skyworthy! She can still fly!
The distraught man was making a scene outside. 3 seemingly unfazed onlookers surrounded him. Between all the belly aching, I pieced together the man's story. He was an engineer, was upset that an airship called the Nautilus was set to be decommissioned. His 3 friends, meanwhile, were telling him to see reason that an old ship like that would be more useful as scrap. Reminded me of the Port Breeze days, back when my own dreams seemed like unscalable walls. The 3 onlookers were a young helmsman, a young mechanic, and an older merchant. They presented a unified front against the engineer, countering each of his arguments threefold whenever he opened his mouth to protest. As much as I wanted to help the guy, the trio were speaking the truth. Repairing the damn thing would cost buckets of rupees, and you can't fix an airship on gumption alone. Trust me, I've tried. Them's the breaks, kid.
I turned to leave. None of my business, right? But dumb old me, I had to pause as my ears caught what he said next.
We made a pact, didn't we? Don't you remember? The Nautilus. You promised that we would take her to the skies.
He could barely hold it together. You could hear it in his voice, the desperation as he clung to a quickly fading dream. It was a feeling all too familiar to me.
When Tempeal was hit by a devastating storm, refugees flocked to the safe haven of Fulka. We heard the news and docked on the island, which was buzzing with activity. It was clear. All hands were needed on deck as reconstruction efforts got underway. So we walked through the city, looking out for opportunities to help. That's when we saw a distressed young draft. We didn't know the details, but it was plain as day that something wasn't right. He was stumbling around, eyes unfocused, and staring into space. I couldn't shake the feeling that we shouldn't leave him on his own, so we ended up trailing him. We came to the edge of a cliff. Though the morning sun shone on our faces, a frigid wind blew down our backs. The draft just stood at the edge, staring at something only he could see. Hey, careful there! With the wind whipping around like this, you might lose your footing! The draft whirled around, taken off guard. After a while, he looked away, shrugging.
Thanks for your concern.
You look like you've got something on your mind. If you want a friendly ear, you've got him here.
I guess I do.
He smiled, though the expression didn't reach his eyes. The draft introduced himself as Karzeda. Back in Tempeal, he was a jeweler's apprentice.
My childhood friend was caught up in that storm. I was in love with her. Could never get up the courage to tell her. And now it's too late.
Karzeda bit down on his lip, as if he was trying to hold back his despair. He went on, telling us that he'd hit a slump in his apprenticeship. Nothing he did could gain his master's approval. His frustration boiled over, and he got into a rip-roaring fight with his friend. Hurt, she fled from the workshop. He didn't go after her.
I wish I had, because that's the day the storm came.
Garzeda's face twisted in agony. He made a mistake, and it ended up costing him someone dear. I could understand all too well.
Have a good day.